Wow, bud, late stream shot. Oh my goodness. Hey guys, yes, I'm back. Sorry, I was running around doing some stuff. Had to get my laundry and stuff. A little bit chaotic. Here, let me send out some soft announcements that we're doing stuff. Get some numb now. No, I had a pretty big late meal today, so I'm all good. Alrighty. Thank you guys for sticking around. I don't know how long ago, probably not that long because I do gotta work for this weekend's stuff. But we will do a little bit of OC writing and art and stuff, and hopefully be productive tonight. Give me just a moment. Oh wow, how topical. Hey guys, check this out. Here. Let me move these around so I can show you guys this. POV, the Oracle after capturing Uriel. Alright, anyways, let me send out the soft announcements. How could they do this to our boy? Alrighty. What even goes on in Kamen? That actually wasn't Kamen Rider. That was the original Gridman. I don't know. There's a shocking amount of scenes of Gridman and Ultraman being crucified. I don't really know why. Alright guys. Well, I think that's definitely enough waiting. Let's get right to it.
You are now watching MrNeutral.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are. Oh, give me a second. Oh, just a moment, actually. Just a moment.
You are now watching MrNeutral.
Okay, sorry about that. Just had to make sure of something. Okay, but hey guys, thank you for sticking around after my Warframe stuff. I really appreciate that. Now we will just simply be working on our OC art, lore, writing stuff. It's it's really dorky, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to be doing this on stream, but I would love to talk about it and write it alongside you guys. So here. Sorry, getting a sip. But before we do all that, let's do our dailies. Okay, let's start connections. I'm back watching. Heck yeah, Mug. Thank you so much for rejoining. I hope you had fun with the Warframe stuff. Oh, 2 news in the same day. Heck yeah, King. That's right. Gridman, Common Writer, Potato, and then at the end of the day, they aren't as good as Mass Writer. You're allowed to geek out on your own channel. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Fallon bro. Thank you so much for the 15 stream streak. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that. I did, and I got Warframe to play. Awesome. I hope you have a lot of fun catching up. Okay, today in connections we got Share, Olives, Mallet, Hop, Mole, Wicket, Ball, Stake, Holes, Rave, Carouser, Concern, Evite, Claim, Timer, and Hoedown. Hmm. Claim, share. These are weird ones. These are weird ones today. Ball, holes, stake, and mallet. These are all part of a... These are all part of that game that's kind of like golf, but you play with a mallet instead. No? Okay. Holes, hoedown, ball, and share. Holes, hoedown, ball, and share. Hole, ball... I'll take your word for it, Dartuzo. No, it's not that. Rave? Rave, hoedown. I thought orgy would be a... Dartuzo, this is the New York Times. The New York Times newspaper. I'm gonna watch the dailies going to bed. Sounds good, King. Thank you so much for following Sky Spiral. Oh my gosh. Appreciate it. What's up? How are you doing? I'm honestly lost. I have no idea about any of this. Hi. Hey, what's up? How are you? Rave, Hoedown, Hop, and Carouser. These are all dancing. One away. Evite. I don't know. I don't know. Excuse me. Doing okay? I hope you are too. I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Events with dancing, a ball, hoedown, hop, and rave. How did I miss that? I think hop threw me off. I think hop threw me off. Claim state, concern and share interest. Components of whack-a-mole, holes, mallet, mole, and timer. Musicals with the last letter changed. Carouser. Evite. Olive. Wicked. Oliver? I don't... Yeah, that one. I didn't care for this one either. Okay, food guesser. Let's do the daily. That looks just straight up like curry. Bell peppers. That's not curry. Lard, bay leaf, parsley, red wine. Okay, this is beef stew. Sour cream optional, noodles optional. This looks like American beef stew. Let's try America. Let's try America. No, let's try England. Gulyasleves. Okay, let's try Russia. No. Sweden. One. Hungary. Oh my god, it's Hungarian. Oh my god, I saved it. Funny soup. I saved it. I saved it. What? Oh, it's cheese. Fermented, no, it's fermented corn dough, cassava dough, water, and salt. Is this... Wait a minute. Is this Ghanaian? Oh my god, oh, Banku. Okay, that's not what I was thinking, but it is Ghanaian, so that counts. Nice. Because I know Ghana... oh yeah, the difference is this is made of corn. So in Ghana, they use plantains to make like a dough that you pick with your hands and then eat with like curry equivalents. I forget what it's called, but I guess the corn dough version of it is called banku. Cool. Shrimp paste, rice, pork, this is Southeast Asian, dried shrimp, green mango, cilantro, red onion, cucumber, long beans, lime, chili, sugar, fish sauce, garlic, egg, sausage. Is this just Chinese? I only know China to use long beans. No, is this Korean? Because of all the... No, that's not sides that is in Korean cooking. Let's try Thailand. It's Thai. Nice. Very nice. Khao klok kapi. Nice. Sweet. Okay. And we'll just do game duel. I think that's the best I've ever... I think that's the best I've ever done on Food Guesser. Is this Phantasy Star? No. Oh, this is Tails. Or Trails. No. Oh my god, I... Cold Steel? What? Vesperia? Tales of Zestiria. Food Guesser makes me feel uneducated? No, it doesn't... No... No, you're... It really is like... How do I put it? It's not your fault at all that you don't know, like, you know, like, food from other cultures and stuff. Like, I watch too many videos. I watch way too many videos. Tales of Hysteria is definitely like a game that someone would say that I'm from to make fun of me. It is hard to know what it is. 200 plus countries, yeah. My mind is set. My mindset is if I haven't heard of it, it must not be that good then. Okay. Tales of Hysteria is such a good theme. I used to listen to it all the time when I was younger. Oh, cool. Travis Touchdown? That does look like Travis. Wait, what? Oh. No More Heroes. No, it's not. Oh my god, what? I have no idea, but it also looks familiar. Is this Brutal Legend? No, Guitar. Oh, it's Guitar Hero. They had the same legs. Oh shoot, I know you. Oh man, I don't know this game, but I know this character. I've seen them everywhere. Chibi Robot, thank you. Yay, so cute. Romance, emoticons, nostalgia? Is it a text-based game? It is text-based. Old internet? Oh. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Is this... Well, let me make sure. Is it, Oh my god. When will they come out with Guitar Villain? Chibi Robot, stop the power bill is too damn high. Needy streamer overload? Store-driven teenage life music sharing. Okay, wait. I think I have heard of this game. I think I played this game, but I'm forgetting what it was called. Hold on. Hold on. I need to look into my library and remember. I'm literally pulling on my library for this. I swear. Shoot, dude. I swear I know the exact game they're talking about. It's like a really sad game. Do I have it hidden? Do I have it hidden because it made me sad? Hold on. How do I pull up hidden games on Steam? Shoot. Private played, ready. Ah, darn, man. I'm completely forgetting. I'm gonna kick myself. I'm gonna kick myself when we find the answer. View hidden games. Ooh, okay. Let me see. Oh yeah, we could do Power Skadle. One game that everyone hated as a walking sim. Oh, Firewatch? No, this is text-based. Journey, wait, Teenage Life wouldn't mesh with that. Scratch that. View hidden games. Thank you. View hidden games. Emily is away. It is Emily is away. Yeah. Well, I have way more games in my hidden list than I thought. Why do I have Dissidia Final Fantasy NT Free Edition in my hidden games list? Huh. Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered? Why did I hide this? Fractured Space? Huh. Maple Story. Why is Maple Story 56 gigabytes? What the fuck do you mean it's 56 gigabytes? Okay, yeah. It's funny. Anyways, back to it. Nice. I believe most people got that. Oh, okay. I remember all the YouTubers playing that game, old and huge. Alright. Final Fantasy 15. It is a little bit older than 2016. And it is not third person. Oldest MMO is still getting content, so I'm not surprised. But it's like 2D sprites. It's crazy that it's 56 gigs. Crazy. It is an RPG. And it's one of these. Oblivion. It is only single player, and it is not it is not first person either. It's a good ass game. I quite like Maple Story. I quite like what it brought to the table. I on one hand wish I played more of it, but on the other I'm happy it didn't take my life over. So it's an RPG, but it is not first or third person. Let's try Path of Exile. It is 2013. Divinity 1. Oh, but it's not isometric either. What the heck? Worlds of Horror. Is it text-based? It would definitely have taken my life over if my parents allowed me to play it. Yeah. Then, to be fair, though, there's always going to be the one game out there. For me, Roblox took my life over. That was like the online game that really took my life by... Well, I had a few. Roblox was definitely one of the really big ones. Early access year use. Oh, it's not text-based. So side-scroller? I don't know. Shovel Knight? It is a side view game. Side view RPGs? Side view RPGs. Side view. Side view RPGs. Roblox is that old? Oh yeah, Tickle. Roblox is like... The Roblox that we know today is very different from how it was back then. But yeah, it was like... early 2010s began. Spiral Knights was my big thing back then, and now I'm getting back into it. That's fun. I mean, did you already guess Maple Story? That would be... There's no fucking... well, it can't be Maple Story because it's single player, but... Maple Story's 2003. That's crazy. My mind just tuned it out till my younger family members started playing it. That's fair. It is a platformer RPG adventure indie roguelike. Is this Slay the Spire? Slay the Spire, is that recent? That's crazy. I'm kind of lost. Noita? Oh? Noita's 2020. Crazy, I didn't know it was that recent either. Crud. King, you already asked that. I said yes. I've got no clue. I just put Octopath. Rogue Legacy? Okay. Okay. Sure. I need to pull this up though, real quick. You guys need to see how Roblox used to look. Oh my god, dude. Here. Jesus.
Own your friends. Be anything, build anything. Millions of players. Destroy everything! Roblox. It's free!
Ah, simpler times. Simple times. I clicked on Roblox through an ad on a website. That's how young I was. I would never do that like past 12, 13 years old. It does look a lot different. I I feel like the fate of all online games is either one of two things. It is either taken over by anime fans and furries, or it is taken over by like rednecks. Case in point, case in point, VR chat, anime fans and furries. Second Life, rednecks. And I definitely think Roblox is some unholy like middle ground. Where it's like the children of both. Alright, anyways, back to it. Okay. Gogeta, Ultra God Mission from Dragon Ball Heroes, or Robin Hood from Robin Hood. Are you kidding me? Killua from Marshall Peak, or Punisher, Chinese character. Always bet on the Chinese character. Superman from the DC animated universe, or Almalexia from the Elder Scrolls. Superman. Damn. Okay. Sure. Minoru Shuishio from Gun X Clover, or Vath from the AE verse. Oh my god. What is, man, just they are really trying to hit us with the old online games for kids these days. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh wow, that was a flashbang. Gun X Clover, I guess. Ruan, Escape from Britain Arc in Witch Hunter, or Frederick Tanner from Seikondo Quasar. Seikondo Quasar. Seikondo Quasar jump scare in the wilds. Oh my god. I did not expect to see it. For those of you who don't know, yeah, I suddenly have a thirst for milk. Seikondo Quasar is like an extremely ecchi like anime about like breastfeeding. Like all the mechanics in Seikondo Quasar are about like women getting the breasts expanded and lactating, and like the powers come from that. Why is he got aura? Which no. Oh my god, he's stronger. Oh my god. A Red Skull from Marvel, or Toya from Yu Yu Hakusho. Red Skull's kind of just a guy. Hakan, the ultimate Paraka from Bionicle, or Vil Volcano Rosso from Street Fighter. I think Hakan, the ultimate Paraka, has this. Can we add this to anime night? I doubt it's that good, but we can check it out. God from El Aleph, or Taranza from Kirby. Taranza. I think Taranza on multiple occasions has defeated gods with Kirby. But no, Taranza gets beaten up by Kirby. I used to think the main character from Quasar was so cool looking. You got the donut for me? I love you, Taranza. You deserve to be happy, bro. I'm gonna just vote Taranza because I love him. Darn it. I love you, Taranza. Marion Slingenair from Tauru Madatsu no Index. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Oriyako from Jibaku Shonen Hanako-kun. I think Index characters are generally stronger than Toilet-bound Hanako character. Never mind. Never mind. God, regular state from Supernatural or Dark Side? I don't know. Fucking God, I guess. Batman could be Dark Side. That was rough. That was a rough one. That was definitely a rough one. Let's do like the two more. Kurumi Tokisaki from Date A Live or Kamen Rider Mach? I think a Date A Live character is going to be stronger than a secondary Kamen Rider? Never mind. Oh my god, he went really high. Darn. Kirino Tsuyoshi from Out or Gudis normal form from Ultraman. It's literally a kaiju. Okay. Alright, guys. So, now let's actually move over. So, okay, that's daily's done. That was quite fun. Okay, everyone. So I guess we will be beginning writing my OC, my dorky OC stuff now. So I will now speak freely about it. So the one that we are currently working on is let me X out of this. The one that we're currently working on is going to be the one that I drew the cover on stream before. It's going to be color code. And so essentially, the general basis of color code is that one day, there we go. So essentially one day, like pretty far down the line, like I think the year like 2100, a bunch of humans are essentially like raptured into a big old mega city island. And like it's sort of like a whole like a billion people. Like it's essentially a small country on an island, and the entire island is already has a city like pre-built on it. And in this island, if you can't sail away from it, you just end up coming back to the island, and you and the sun never rises. It's always nighttime, and so they call it Midnight City. And all the entire story takes place in a big old city, and essentially over time, like essentially out of the view of normal society, normal humans, are people who are called colors. And when you are a color, that means that you are a human without like limits. It's not necessarily a superpower. It means that you can develop yourself as a human beyond what a normal human's limits would be. And so your color is very greatly hinged on like your identity, essentially, which means it's a combination of like how you see yourself and how people perceive you. and so that's what kind of generates what your ability is and what your color is, essentially. And so every color carries with it a different context for like what kind of person you are and what you can grow into. And there's there's clans that represent different colors, and the whole city is sort of in a civil war between like the four neutral colors. And so I guess to start, I kind of want to do like a little diagram of what the four of what the four factions would be. How does a person know their color? So essentially, you essentially will say you're born as a regular person. You would come to know your color the more, I believe the easiest way to say is like the more you strive for your identity, the more individualistic you are. For example, if you have a craft that you want to hone, or if you're really good at something, or if you have a lot of resolve in relation to a goal, then one day it'll come to you as though in a vision or a dream. You'll just know what your color is. Just one day, after one day, you'll just kind of gain this awareness. And if somebody asks you like, what color are you, you'll be able to tell them, oh, I'm this color. And I assume neutral colors are rare. Yes, there's only 4 neutral colors, at least in color code. There's white, brown, black, and gray. And each one carries with it its own faction. So if I can plop into Clip Studio the 4 different symbols, actually, let me put it on this page. Boop. So let me grab these. And please, I'm not even going to say please don't be afraid to ask questions. Please do ask questions, because the more questions asked, the better I can outline this. It's like whenever I can talk about it, the clearer even to me that my own story becomes. So literally questions are like super helpful. So I genuinely really appreciate it. But first, let me grab all these insignias. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, so let me put white here, and then this one will be brown, and then on the other page will be gray and black. Okay, so there we go. Here. There we go. There we are. Okay, nice. So, we can do like the minimalistic or the fully detailed version of each one. I think, so here, if we do the minimalistic versions, then these are what they'll look like. But, yeah. So, looking forward to a stream like this for so long. I'm glad. I'm happy to be able to talk freely about these and share the things I want to create with you guys. So, going down the list, so like, so the white neutral color, their whole thing is like, here, let me draw it as I talk. And I will draw like the average member essentially right underneath. I think that would be quite fun. So, the average white member, so the white faction is called Bielyaza, which is a combination of the Ukrainian word for snow, which is Bieli, and the eldritch god Azathoth. They're essentially like a very they kind of thrive on subterfuge. Like white operates from, I guess, the shadows is the best way to put it. When you work for white, you're essentially resolving to risk doing evil things for positive change. And so essentially the shared goal for every faction is that, like, humanity's kind of been stuck in Midnight City for a very long time, like a century by now, by the time this story takes place. And so every faction is wanting to find a way out. It's fun, but bedtime. Have a good night, King. Take it easy. Thank you so much for joining. So the average uniform for a Bielyaza is going to be a sort of a skin-tight metallic bodysuit under a white mafioso like suit jacket, and then a metal mask with a mono eye on it. So let me sketch that. Oh, actually, no. She would look like this. Oop. And different colors will have, like, different versions of this mask. For example, like, if it's yellow, then the eye will be, like, arced upward to make it look like an eager eye. But if you're, like, a red, it'll be, like, a downward arch to make it look like an angry one. That type of thing. Like, you're an individual if you're a color. That's the entire point. But there are generally, like, patterns between colors. Like, reds are generally, like, passionate, and their identity has to do something with anger. And blues, you know, their whole thing usually has something to do with, like, sorrow. That type of thing. Yellows are happy. Greens are comedic. That sort of deal. Personal growth occur within a faction, moving through the ranks and getting closer to neutral. If they can, it's going to be a different 4 different factions. All 4 factions work completely differently. So for for White's faction, it's essentially a crime syndicate. So it's mostly through connections and what your worth is in that faction, like what you can do for the faction. It isn't like cartoonishly evil or anything. It is essentially like it is essentially a syndicate, and quite a confident one. It isn't the type of thing where you're like, you're gonna get freaking killed if you mess up or anything like that. They just are operating outside of the 2 larger factions, you know? Gonna head to bed. Hope you have a good day. Absolutely, Mug. Thank you so much. Please have a good night, my friend. So for White, it's just moving through the ranks based on, like, what you can do. Brown is much more of a nation. For that, you don't really move up any ranks. It's very feudal, so it's like based on how your own strength. Gray is like a militarized government, similar to an oligarchy. Well, not an oligarchy, that's a bit more extreme. It's much more of an organized militaristic government. That one is moving up the ranks of like a military chain of command kind of deal. And then Black is the most individualistic out of all of them. So there's not really any like ranks in Black. Okay. So if I just let me just really quickly. So boop, boop, boop. New Arctic, my favorite thing? Yeah. Thank you for joining, Peachy. I'm talking about my OCs and all my OC stuff. I really appreciate you coming by. I'm just explaining my OC stuff and beginning to write bits of it. Just, you know, just a little thing I wanted to try doing on stream. I thought it'd be kind of a fun thing to attempt. I'm trying to put together this little world rulebook thing for just sort of like an open source thing. I thought it'd be a fun idea. So there we go. Okay. So the average member of the white faction, you're going to work essentially like an agent or like a wet worker or a criminal essentially. So it you know, you're gonna be dressing like in a suit and tie and stuff like that. It's really all just like secret agents. New OC today? Oh, nice, 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 nice. Very nice, Peachy. Okay. I'll just really quickly sketch these out. This is definitely one of the more like of the mysterious like factions, I guess would be the best way to put it. A very eccentric one too. Definitely full of weirdos. Again, it's not outright evil, but they do function as a crime syndicate. Four neutrals know each other? Yes. Yeah. They essentially they once were like how do I put it? They once functioned as one unit, but they essentially fell out, I guess would be the easiest way to put it. Distrust, doing things differently, that type of thing. They're like the typical gang of goons. They're the gang of goons, but more if they were like competent generally. Like White is generally competent. They're like they're not evil, but they do disrupt things and they're good at what they do. Okay. Here we are. Gonna go now. Take care. Love your art. Thank you so much, Sky Spiral. Please take it easy. Okay. Let's see. For the average brown member, let me actually make these a little bigger, so I don't lose them. I'll draw another person next to her later. So for brown, so essentially brown is its own sub. So essentially white is sort of just a syndicate. It's only essentially just criminals and stuff like that. Brown takes up like half of the city. So they're like 50% of the city as a whole. Is brown and gray are the two really big factions. And so their whole thing is that Brown split from the city because they were dissatisfied with how everything was run. Brown's whole thing is their own branched off, their own branched off side of things is very, how do I put it? It's a very feudal thing. The whole aesthetic for Brown's side is very, it's a very Eastern. Everything is quite there's a big Asiatic, Southeast Asian, Japanese aesthetic to all of it, and they are very one with like nature. They cherish what little nature there is, and the city itself is it's pretty hardy. It's how do I put it? Being a feudal system with a very low emphasis on laws, there's definitely a lot of there's a decent bit of crime, and so the entire city is essentially their portion of the city is essentially run by, I guess, their version, their equivalent of like like Yakuza's, like big gangs. Not like, they're quite benevolent. They're not like that. They're not evil or anything. It's just, they have to run quite a tight shift on, in really turbulent times. So it's a quite a liberated place, but they function quite a lot on, like, the crime is no stranger in a place like this. It's sort of like a strong people, the strong rule sort of mentality. Like, you need to fend for yourself. So a lot of their uniforms come with like an animal aesthetic. Let's see here. Oh, characters getting to know each other between factions. So like romantically. So for example, usually it's not common, but in that regard, it's sort of like a more of like a plot thing of like, I think it's like a star-crossed lover situation. It's like these characters, come to know each other despite their differences, that type of thing. But how do I put it? When in the times, in these times in this city, even though there's a lot of tensions and even like essentially like civil war, the factions aren't like completely against one another. Like, the people of each faction aren't going to always be completely against one another. Like, for example, like people from like the brown territory are allowed to travel to gray territory, that type of thing. Like, it's just that there's tensions between the governments. That's where a lot of the strife really happens. But the atmosphere itself is more of like a tense piece. So it's not impossible to say go to the other side and be there for a bit. Let me make this bigger. Actually, let me just make this lower part bigger. So a lot of the theming for Brown is going to be like animals and nature, stuff like that. Mari and Kari actually weren't the heroines of the story. They started out as essentially like side characters. The story was actually going to take place from primarily from White's perspective. I wanted there to be like an emphasis on the idea of like the story being told by a group of villains, or by a group of like essentially antagonists that yearn for betterment. Eventually it came to be that I wanted to tell more than just White's perspective, and so Madi specifically would be the perspective character of Brown's like side of things. Do the neutral colors lead because of their rarity, or are they intrinsically stronger or smarter than the other colors? It's kind of a mix of both. Neutrals, their nature is sort of like much more complex than a normal color, and most people, don't know of this nature. They just see them like, oh, this is like they're a leader. Like, for example, like gray or brown, people just go like, oh, they're the leader of the place that I live in, so I'm following their word. But they don't generally know what a neutral is or what a neutral can do. To them, it's just another human that just happens to be higher on the rungs. White is a bit different. She's more transparent about neutrals and their nature. She wants to build trust with her colors a bit closer. But generally, the main thing that an average color will have in terms of like knowledge is just that that person is my leader. Yeah, because in your early life inspired that aspect with white true focus. I began creating this before I got into Yakuza. Yakuza just kind of helped me string together the aesthetic. A lot of brown fashion is going to be like coats and jackets, and then like animal masks. Make her head a little bit bigger. Here we are. Fill this up, thank you. And these masks are kind of like how Puppy and Ruiner's mask is like they're like screens all over essentially. So this, for example, let me, I don't know, like TV, TV, like, I guess a good idea would be like, boop. So essentially, like, imagine this but overlaid on the mask. So let me see if I can actually do that. So I already do like, okay, like this, and then let me just it's easy to select this because it's polygonal. Boop. We are. That's outside selection. And then it would also just be like, boop. Wait for that to apply. I am quite excited for Ruiner too. Very, very interested in that. Sorry, I'm waiting for this effect to go through. Oh, there we go. There we are. And all I gotta do now is boop. There we are. Yeah, so they mask would look something along these lines. One last thing. Let me change the colors just a bit. Okay. Nice. All right. Recent games or media. What's enforcing or inspiring you to add on to Calico's story besides the initial version? I think just any seinen anime. I just really enjoy stories about like factions and people of different groups going against each other, and like the way that peace can be built with that essentially. Okay, and then for Gray, the uniform is essentially going to be Gray's uniform is one that I'm kind of really struggling on. I've always had problems trying to figure out what I would want this to be. I'm kind of jumping between some things, so generally, so there's a few that I'm considering. I would appreciate your guys' input on this. So, so Gray's whole thing is it's the most like government-oriented one. There's essentially like a police force or like a military police essentially. So they, you know, they're the most organized. They're the biggest. That's essentially it. You know, they're all like military police, and so I'm running between like I don't know, some sort of like a buggish, almost like flight helmet kind of deal, where it's like, you know, kind of something like this, where it's like the eyes go like quite large on the helmet. EVA, I was thinking more like the security helmet. And then there's the more like Sentai-ish take, where it's like a black visor. That would go like something more like, I don't know, like this, like something like SPD or like Deca Rangers. Here, where this isn't final, but just to like demonstrate. Where it's like this black visor here, and then, you know, all the tools here, maybe like gas masks, that sort of thing. Option number 3. Oops, here we are, copy. Option number 3 is just a straight up gas mask. Which would be something like this. And then like this. Do their uniforms all consist of having multicolored utility belts? No, their uniforms are all just gray and drab. Just various shades of gray and black. Big fan of gas masks myself, so I think that'd be a cool incorporation. I'm kind of feeling that too. It's actually funny because the old concepts for brown uniforms were gas masks, and it's only just now that I'm thinking of it is that a gray would actually have pretty cool capacity for gas masks. And I could still make them bug eye-ish if I did. So maybe. Honestly, kinda feeling that. The final one was just to make it like the EVA helmet, like we mentioned earlier, but I don't know. I think we could maybe fit that into like how about this? Gas mask, and then here's the tie. And then because they're the most technology oriented, so Grey's the most technologically advanced because they're the big government. They might have like little lights and stuff, like beep boops on their gas mask visors, like like the little Ideon Elgime lines, like here. Where it's like light dashing across, or maybe like a heartbeat monitor. Though I definitely feel like the lines would work a little bit better. Yeah. I appreciate that input, Dart, because I am kind of thinking of the gas mask right now. You consider antenna on both sides to get the bug style? Maybe. At least one side. I am awoken. Hey Sol, welcome back. How are you doing? It's like a heavy security forces and wingless, also double antenna for encrypted comms. Oh yeah, maybe we could try to incorporate that. Like, okay, what if we add to this? So the Arasaka helmets have like really, they have like a big old portion, like a big cap, essentially, like a big brim. Still waking up, but I'm alright. Heck yeah, happy to hear that. So what if we... Here, let me look at the one I drew before. Okay, so if we do this, so yeah, so this is how that style of like big shelled helmet would function. A big silhouette emphasis up here, and then a bit of stuff here. Essentially obscuring the eyes, and then a lot of the A lot of stuff will be like through, you know, stuff going on up here. Maybe gas mask here, or maybe like this entire bit down here would be glass, like just like shaded glass. That's another possibility. Just have the entire face shield just be glass. So then the lights would be going on down here, and up here would be like solid little hard point lights, like. It's much more intricate and like designed, but that's definitely a possibility. Are we allowed to send you concept or reference art, or would you prefer to just give us typed input? I prefer typed input just because it's easier to keep track with. Does it detract? It could. It probably could. Here, how about we draw like a body to the rest of the uniform to help us see what would... Little tactical pouches. Here, let me remember all the important focal points of this outfit. Okay, I need to make all these a little bit smaller. Now we need to make the body smaller. There we are. Okay, so... And the gray, essentially, their whole thing is like big gray trench coats. Their uniform is comprised of a tight bodysuit with a trench coat over it. Yes, YouTube, I'm still listening to my music. Boop. Okay. So gray is going to be all about like cybernetic enhancement, that type of thing. Hmm. More about unique identity. Yeah. Uniformity. Exactly. They're meant to be like a much colder corporate force. Individuality is still a thing, but it's not as much of the status quo. You know what? Let's have the helmet like. Let's see how it would look if the helmet, the glass part, just wraps around the head. Professional Black Ops agents. Oh yeah, I mean, it's pretty, it's pretty close to that feel essentially. Let's return the gas mask element to this one. The little respirators. I kind of like this silhouette. I might keep this one, but these two are quite close. You know what? One last one. Let's just make a straight up regular gas mask without the bug eye. Music? Hello? Oh, there you go. So there's that, or we could have like two like eye holes. Hmm. 10 on the left side in the second version. Oh yeah. I think that would be pretty good too. Okay. So tentatively, it is between a gas mask and a big ballistic helmet with respirators. Do I have any words on preferences? Does anyone got any preference in that regard? It's pretty hard, honestly. Let me check something. There we go. Number one on this one has more human elements of someone behind the helmet. Two more has a soulless vibe. I'm overall leaning towards the first one, but I do like the design of the second mask. Okay. Okay, then I could honestly probably just keep both of them, because every faction has pretty distinct, pretty diverse variants of their helmets, or their masks. White, like for example, like these masks, the eye changes based on like what color you are. I think I actually have the diagram. I made a diagram a bit ago, based on like the shape of your mask. Like, for example, like somebody could, masks could vary quite a bit for white, if they wanted. Like you could quite heavily customize your mask, you know, like this type of thing. So, you know, they're pretty all over the place. And then like for brown, as long as it's animal themed, you know, it will work. It could be like a one of those red and white fox masks or stuff like that. So I guess for gray, the through line is going to look like a SWAT or a riot mask. Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that'll be fine. So I'll keep this one, and then we'll. Oh, I just remembered though, they do have hats. So actually, maybe having a hat be part of here. Let me see if I can like incorporate the uniform's hat under. I think I could. Something like this. Doesn't necessarily have to be like that, but you know, you get the idea. I'll save this for future reference. Okay, either way. The other idea I had was the most minimalistic one, and that's why I was moving away from it, but I will include it just for the sake of it. It was Yeah, here, I'll bring this up just so I can see how you guys feel about it. So the other idea was literally just is just hat, sunglass, face mask. So I felt that was veering into just being a little too minimal. It kind of has like a covert, like hiding amongst regular people kind of feel to it, you know, that type of thing. But I don't know. I kind of wanted to lean towards having a full like helmeted mask. So yeah, I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like it's just a little too minimal. Kind of dig both. One is a casual fit, the other is when they're on the field. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking of like keeping this as part of like the actual like uniform when you're like out of combat, and then like the glasses could work like some sort of communicative function, that type of thing. So maybe, yeah. Char with the sunglasses versus him with the visor. That's a great point. That's a great comparison. It could also be a hologram or projection emitted from the helmet or mask. Oh, sorry. Propaganda officer. ISB, Star Wars. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I do like this. Okay, then I'll keep it on the menu. Okay. Cool. Cool. Alright. So let me mark all these other ones. So okay, so full fisheye is a no. More Sentai looking, probably a no, and it's a little too similar to here. No, yes, maybe yes, yes, and yes. So let me mark these as Okay. Okay. And Disei, how do I put this? Disei has no uniform. Members of Disei just if you have joined Black, you kind of just disguise yourself as a regular like average person. So there is no uniform. There's no uniform. You are just the average Joe, just out in the wild. But I'm thinking maybe if people in Disei did unite, maybe they could have some sort of shared uniform. So, if remember, if God, there's what could Disei have? So Disei, generally, is just average person. You nobody knows that you're part of this group. You dwell, in the shadows. You're not sinister. The goal of Disei is to, how do I put it? To unite the factions. And so you essentially, it's really hard to explain. It's really hard to explain. Scarves? Maybe, but I definitely want it to be a face-centric uniform, like helmets, masks, and stuff. Are beanies too much? Yeah, I don't think that would fit. The uniform, if Disei members are to wear uniform, is like a black suit and tie. Kind of like a tuxedo. Berets? I was actually just thinking that the group might be vaguely Shocker-esque, but not evil. Not like evil like Shocker. So ties, yeah. The average Disei member be like suit, tie. I was considering. Well, no, that wouldn't work. Here, the most sinister, white. White would be the most sinister. Because she feels as though committing to change requires like hands getting dirty. She goes by that kind of mentality, though that's a mentality that she is slowly she's unstable about it because she does want to do good. She's this type of person that wants to do the necessary thing to create change.
Reinforcements detected.
But the memento Dory. Hi, hey guys, what's up? How are you guys doing? Hide your blood. The minions are here. Hide your blood. Blah blah blah. Hi Dory. I hope you're doing great. What's up? How are you guys doing? Hey Yang Xiaolong, good to have you as well. Dory, Dartiza rated it in from Dory here as well. Val, hi Val, I hope you're doing great too. It's good to see you. Here. Honk pigs, what the heck? Hold on. Shout out Memento Dory. How are you guys doing today? What were you guys up to on stream today? I will stay hydrated. Thank you. Thank you, Hogpix. It's so good to have you. Had him open another tab. Awesome. Otter! Hi, Otter! How are you doing? What's up? What were you all up to? I hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Hi, hi, hi. I'm currently doing art and writing OC stuff. I'm talking about my OC lore stuff. It's all nerdy and dorky. And I'm trying to bite down away from the embarrassment of talking about my OCs because I've adapted to being embarrassed about it. I was also drawing. I did a comm and made some more digital circus sticker designs. Awesome, Dory. That's awesome. I bet they turned out amazing. Please feel free to show me if you'd like. Hi, Big Bunny. Good to see you too. What's up? I hope you guys are all doing absolutely fantastic. The entire gang's here. Oh, here I need to. There, I need to scroll down OBS. But yeah, I'm currently writing my OC stuff with the help of my friends here in chat, and yeah, I'm just trying to iron out some details, get some writing done, chip away at this book I want to write about all my characters and stuff, and yeah, we're just going over how all the factions and their different outfits look. So, you know, kind of exciting, So yeah, if you need to head out for the evening, please feel free to. But if you want to stay here, then I am all too happy to have you. Genuinely, yeah. But either way, take it easy and chill out. Ties seem like they aren't getting too uniform like the other three. Other aspects of them can be more loose. Yeah. It's essentially suit and tie is going to be the thing here. Any of the factions can have a suit and tie as part of their outfit, but black is the one where it's the most like tuxedo looking. You're essentially dressing like a James Bond character at this point. Shorts or pants? Pants, generally. Pants or a skirt. Like a long skirt. Maybe more casual black fit. A black turtleneck, black pants. Oh, a turtleneck is actually not bad either. It's really giving it like a shocker element, which I kinda dig. I kinda dig the shocker element. One thing I was thinking for if black had you know their own helmet type, it would literally just be a wrap around the head. Like it would just take the shape of the head. So for example, no, as in like, how do I do? Like this, essentially. And then they could emote through like, I don't know, like a holograph on the front, something like that. You know, there'd be some form of like lights or stuff bouncing around the front. Maybe leave like a gap for the hair for the character. That's just one of the ideas I had. Dig it? Okay. That's just one of the ideas. I'm still considering that as an option. But a turtleneck and a beret, huh? Maybe a beret. Normal black or like a Vanta black. The mask would probably be, I don't know actually. I think having it be like a Vanta black would be kind of sick. And here we go with the beret idea. Excuse me. Stay hydrated? I will stay hydrated, thank you. I do kind of like the idea of a beret. What do shocker berets look like? Shocker. Oh, that's funny. Shocker berets are just like French berets. It's kind of funny. It's like I get what they're going for. It's like Spec Ops, but it's like a French beret. So they kind of just like they look like a French person. I think tentatively we can keep these, and go from there. Okay. Yeah, I actually kind of like it. I kind of like that. So let me make this guy a little bigger. Hello, the Ogre Yomu. How are you doing? What's up? How have you been? Yeah, here we are. Sweet. But yeah, so that's essentially the general look of each of these four groups. Just got home, tired and hungry, but eager to create. Heck yeah, sounds good. I hope you can take it easy and get some stuff done. I hope you're doing awesome. Here we are. But with that in mind, we move. Oh, good. Oh. There you go. Or what Black's faction would have for their prerogative, what they stand for. So Black's faction is essentially Black wants to bring the other factions into one. He wants to sort of like unite them. Most of the members of his group are not necessarily people who they're not all necessarily people who are under the same prerogative. They're just people who do not fit into any category. A lot of his members are like the forgotten members of society, like janitors or like, you know, government workers or train conductors. It's just like he represents like the forgotten individual, and he wants to unite the other ones, the other three. Exactly. So that's what Disei is for. Disei is like the most like it's most like it stands for humanity rather than anything, but they still thrive in the shadows because they still thrive in the shadows because I guess the easiest way to explain is just that simply their Black's end goal is best kept kind of under wraps. But generally the group is quite benevolent, though a little bit obfuscated by their mysterious nature. So yeah. Essentially, yeah. So yeah, that's tentatively, that's the 4 primary groups in color code. Let me move these a little bit closer to the center. And here, there we go. But yeah, I guess the other thing I'm interested in, here, let me bring back up the writing, actually, the document. If I were to pull up my text document, how clearly can you guys see this through the bitrate in the stream? Do I have to zoom in even closer? It's a little hard to see what my preview. Oh, I think I do. I think I do. Hold on. Yeah, I think I'm going to change the view. It's visible? Okay, but here, there we go. I think having it here and zoomed in would be a good idea. Okay. Okay. So, got to appear a bit more so? Okay, so having it, yeah, okay, that's much better. I can see it with my tiny preview, so. First I must order the food. I created the burger. A burger does sound quite nice right now. There we go, yeah. So, I do have here my table of contents. It's completely incomplete, so I definitely need to organize. Wait, actually, let me increase the spacing between all the bullet points here. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Okay, so something I was trying to think of. So of course this is going to be formatted like a rule book for or rather a world book for a tabletop system. So I was thinking of how to flavor the stats that a human would have. I was kind of thinking, because the nature of being a color is to be a human but improved in every way, is to have each of the stats be one of the senses, one of each of your senses. So for example, like wisdom would be referred to as like smell, and perception and stuff like that would be like the eyes, that type of thing. I was wondering if that'd be a kind of a fun way to be to flavor the 5 stats in a unique way. But I kind of wanted to see what you guys felt about that. Is it a source book or a continue fashion out like a story manga? Tentatively, I would like to just make it a source book and then maybe do like small projects related to it on the side. It could be comics, it could be like videos or something, just mixed media. I think it would be fun to mess around with different mediums. But what do you guys think with the idea of like stats and stuff, like having stats be different senses? Like, okay, so how I wrote it out here is that strength would be like the sense of touch, and then dexterity would be hearing, intelligence would be sight, and then wisdom, the equivalent for wisdom would be like smell, and then charisma would be taste, or the mouth, that type of thing. Because I would either do this, or I just would want to find different words that aren't just strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, like modern iterations of those words, since it's like a futuristic setting. But I don't know what you guys would think. Because like whenever I see like Cyberpunk, for example, and I see Moxie, I'm like, you could have just said charisma, So I want to do something that's just completely out there, I guess. But I honestly don't know where else I would go other than this sort of thing. My DM brain goes burr, but the rational part of my brain just joins, so doesn't know what is being discussed. I'm essentially just trying to fit all my OC lore and stuff into the format of a tabletop source book. Like I wanna, I guess, kind of put all of my OC stuff into a book, and have that book be sort of like a TTRPG source or rule book. And so I'm trying to figure out the best way to get the lore across in the form of like TTRPG rules and stuff. That's sort of what my goal is here. A guidebook in a sense. Yeah, exactly. But yeah. And then the sixth one that wouldn't be covered by any of these, like anything equivalent to, I guess, almost like magic or anything like that, I would probably call that like identity or something. I think it works. The only things that's throwing me for a loop is the connections between something like intelligence and wisdom. For example, wisdom is generally like, wisdom is generally what you know, but on a deeper level than like basic intelligence. It's sort of like your instincts, you know. It would be like your instincts or that intuition, and I feel like that could be linked to smell. Like people who say like, you know, trust my nose or something. It's always like based on a sort of intuition, a deeper knowledge rather than actual intelligence. Wisdom feels more like sight to me. Really? Okay, that's fair. Because I linked intelligence to eyes and sight because it's like you would know how to analyze and you would know how to read and like see things. That's kind of why I link them like that. I do get what you mean though. I think it's because I think the easiest way to explain it is that wisdom is the most instinctual the most instinctual feeling out of all of them, and smell is the most instinctual feeling. Because like your sense of smell is linked to like memory and nostalgia, you know, and so it's like that feels really close to wisdom. Smells the old brain, yeah. Dexterity with ears, hearing certainly doesn't click with me. It's for dexterity. The reason I'm linking that to ears is your ears is like your sense of balance is linked to your ears, and your spatial awareness is linked to your ears. So that's why I linked it with the hearing and your ears. I'm trying to figure out how to flavor the basic 6 stats and skills. Ogre Yomu. I'm trying to see like if I could flavor my strength, dexterity, intelligence, all those in a different way from like say D&D, like how D&D would do it. Fear the old smell, Lawrence. Dexterity should be nerve synapse possibly, but that's not one of the 5 senses. That's so the fact that it doesn't click with you guys is a sign that maybe linking these to the 5 senses might not be the most optimal thing, because you know, like when you read D&D, when you see like strength, dexterity, it like clicks with you. You kind of can immediately assume what each of those does, but the fact that there's like we're not all kind of clicking with this immediately means that it might not be the best way to do this, you know. Like there might be a better, I guess, a better way to flavor this than to do it with the 5 senses. Wisdom to me is the accumulation of knowledge, while intelligence is the potential of it. Closer instinct. Oh, okay, I get what you mean. Don't overthink it. Keep your sets simple as they are across the TRPG genre. Allows even the most new person to settle. Yeah, I think that might be the case. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, fair. Honestly, that's quite fair. Color palette itself is the better means to attribute the stats. But that would mean I'd have to make 8 stats. Maybe though. Maybe maybe what we could do here is we won't have skills like D&D does. Like you know how there's like the whole thing of like each like each stat has skills attached to it, like sleight of hand is in dexterity and stuff like that. Maybe we can have 8 stats but have no skills, so it's not too bloated. If you want to make your thing unique, stick out. It'll come down to your skills and your skills and racials. Got you. Got you. Got you. The only issue with linking the stats to colors is colors function as kind of like your class in this. So it would kind of funnel you into being like, oh, if you're a red, you have to be like strength. Or if you're like a yellow, you have to be dexterity. That type of thing. If you're a pink, you have to be charisma. So I do like the idea quite a lot, but it can maybe cause some issues with if you're making a character. It can make you feel like, yeah, it is not a naive take. It is not a naive take. We are all like shooting ideas around. Don't degrade your opinion just because we didn't take it. We're all developing ideas here. That's why we're all shooting things. Yeah, I think the senses was a novel idea, but it's a little confusing. So I'll scrap them for now. I'll scrap my senses idea for now, but I'll keep it in mind for if it can be used somewhere else. Humans, to which what racials you will have makes their own unique entity, but if not done well at minute choice, it won't mill over unless you're min-maxing. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Then we'll just have the character sets be these. Let me see if I can at least come up with like synonyms. Like strength synonym. Brawn, muscle, robustness. Sorry. I mean like power. You could use power. But again, it's a little vague. It's a little too vague. What about like dexterity? Dexterity synonym. Agility. People can go with agility. Charisma. Charm. Aura. We actually, I might do aura instead of personality. Because I feel like one's aura is like... We might try aura. Let me just aura. Hexagon or octagon, picking points that represent the cardinal direction. Yeah. Pillow arts. Yeah, that would definitely be part of charisma. Oracle station. Station would... I'm struggling to brainstorm right now. It feels like I'm hitting a dead end. No. That's fair. Like, this specifically is like you have no obligation to. This is kind of just me telling you guys about what I'm doing, and if you have any input, like, you don't have to force yourself to. I'm not turning you guys into some sort of committee of mine. I just really appreciate any input, like literally any input, and it helps me like talk it out, weigh it against what you guys think. Like it's just helpful. But yeah, never ever feel like you have to, like, not at all. This is all just for fun at the end of the day. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad you think so. Wisdom. Penetration is listed as a synonym for wisdom. Circumspection, logic, rationality, soundness, sagacity, prudence, Yeah, no, I don't think anything beats wisdom, honestly. Savvy? Savvy maybe, but I don't know. I don't care for it. Wisdom just hits the mark. What about intelligence? Intellect, judgment, reason, understanding, perception, sharpness. None of these really hit me either. Well, we can do intellect instead of intelligence. All right, and okay, we can stick with that for now. Gut or instinct for a 7th, maybe. No, this is serious. It's not a game, Newt. I'm gonna squish your cheeks. All right. Let's do aura instead of charisma. So strength, dexterity. We can do power for now. See how it feels. Power, dexterity, intellect, wisdom, aura for personality and identity. Pops. No. Okay. So next up is so generally what about presence instead of aura? Ooh, meme to hell and back. Yeah, I quite like presence. I quite like presence, actually. I actually use that phrase quite a bit when describing this. So yeah, you know, let's try presence. Let's try presence. That's quite good. I like that. Cool. Thank you, Ogre Yomu. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So I guess the next thing to do would be to just mull over what each color kind of represents. Maybe come up with like flaws and weaknesses, maybe. There is also what I do, yeah. There is one clan in the setting for each color, so essentially it would be like a group of like people that represents a specific color. Like you can be whatever color you want to be in whatever faction you want to be, but there are clans that represent you throughout the setting, essentially. So if you want to go meet people of that color, then that clan would represent that. I have names written up for each of them that I thought were just kind of fun. I would appreciate input. Either way, let's start with what each of the colors does. So for example, like let me make it bullet points, and then we could just flesh it out fully later. So bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Let's align you to the left. Okay. Either hardiness or constitution, or better yet, resilience. I would like to keep it to 6 stats or under, just so. But then again, if we're not doing skills, then We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get back to the stats. Just spitballing. Absolutely, that's what we're doing. Okay, so reds generally are characterized by their identity revolves around passion or anger. Let's actually list the con first and then the pro. Anger or passion. Oh, whoops. So red will generally highly emotional. Well, all the colors have like some sort of emotion linked to them. Actually, let me see. Passion. I don't know if I want to use passion now. I might want to use passion for pink. Passion. Passion. Vigor, I think, would be good. Anger or vigor. Yeah. But passion feels more close to fire, like you know, red, like heat, hot, that type of thing. Okay, I think we can stick with that for now. Passion, energy, more energy. Uh, Vibrant, intensity. I do like intensity. Anchor, intensity, and or passion. Okay. Blues. Revolve around, a blue color will generally revolve around sorrow. Um, what is like a sorrow? Passion is good to keep because it shows that red is not necessarily negative. Exactly. For each color, I want to list like generally a negative and then a positive. Like I want to, you know, I want to show like there's some sort of weight to each one, but then show why you would be one. Stoic, yeah, yeah. Blue, sorrow, stoicness, and integrity. What is the trait of being stoic? I don't know if it's stoicness is stoicness. Stoicism, duh. Stoicism. My bad. Pro and con for each. Where there's a detriment, exactly. Stoicism, yeah. Okay. Yellow will maybe not have a con. Stoicness. Shut up, Dartuza. Shut up. I'm gonna freaking smack you. Yellow will be yellow. I'm trying to think of a negative for yellow. That's what I'm struggling. So yellow will be, of course, joy. Maybe eccentricity, tied to fear. Sometimes greed. I'm gonna save greed for green. Fear maybe. Distraction. Distraction is pretty good. Let's distraction synonyms. Oh, mania. Ooh, mania is a good one. Ooh, mania. Mania. Oh, yeah. I think mania works. Yellow is sometimes tied to fear. Oh, the distraction, not even being funny about it, just straight up abuse. That's how you know he means it. I didn't tell you where I was gonna smack you, Dark Tusa. Ooh, like the madness from Elden Ring. Yeah. Mania, joy, and I'm reluctant to use eccentricity. I kind of want to save that for green too. Or orange. Actually, orange might be eccentricity. Normally, eccentric synonyms. Common, abnormal, aberrant, odd, freak, nut, oddball, weirdo. Oh, whimsy. And whimsy. Okay. Okay. Green and brown tend to... Oh, wrong screen. Green and brown tend to lean toward more grounded and nature vibes. I can imagine it really depends on the shade of color. Yeah, that's true. Like neon green, probably not. Neon green is more like chemicals and poison. Okay, we are now on our secondary colors. This is where it gets a little bit harder. Green is going to be the easiest of the secondary colors. So let's start with... Where's green? I missed green. Whoops. Hold on. Alt. Nope. Control. Enter. There we are. Center screen. green. Okay. Purple is considered royal, so haughtiness is a big one. Haughtiness is a big one. So green would be eccentricity. Well, rather, revolve around envy, eccentricity, and comedic. Comedic synonyms. I usually characterize green as being like humor, like humorous. Antic, laughable, chucklesome. I could say hystery. Or hysteria. Wait, did I already use hysteria? I know it's hysteria, but hysteria is such a cool way of saying it. Whoopsie, regal, whoopsie, serene, jovial, joy was used right, yeah. So green would be envy, eccentricity, and hysteria. I'll be completely honest. I usually care. Oh, actually, we'll get there. So purples. If you choose to be a purple color, then, whoops, I forgot to. There we go. Purples usually revolve around, depends on the type of humor. Humor that warms and comes with warm laughter might lean towards orange. Maybe. Dignified. Yeah. Let me see. So purple would be haughtiness. Haughtiness, dignity. Dignity and pride. I think as an extra bit, oranges and purples might have their traits be more linked to how they interact with others. Like oranges are generally associated with others, and purples are generally lonely. Or maybe the other way around. What do you guys think about that? Is that a touch that we can add in, or does that not make sense to you immediately? Well, rock, paper, scissors, you tie a material to each color. It would help to see who's strong against who and who's weak against what. Maybe. Intro and extroverted. Yeah, exactly. Like, purples can be introverts and oranges can be extrovert. But then again, I have one purple character that's introverted and one that's extroverted. And I have another orange character that's extroverted and another orange character that's introverted. So I don't think that would work. I don't think it's that confusing? Okay. I just kind of see orange as being bright. So I imagine it being extroversion, and purple's murky and gloomy. So it would be introversion. I think we can try that. Purples are generally introverted. And let's move on to oranges then. So oranges are sort of a tough one. Aloof depends on the shade of color. Of course, absolutely. The shade of color, and that will be covered in this. Flamboyant. Flamboyance is actually not bad. Did I already use eccentricity? No, I haven't. I was saving. No, I did for green. Jovial. We use jovial for yellow. I usually characterize oranges as being kind of strange. Let's see. Eccentric. Why did my music stop? Okay. Like peculiarity. Quirky. I don't want to use quirky, but that is essentially what it is. So let me find a synonym. Eccentricity, unconvention. Idiosyncrasy. Idiosyncratic. And unorthodox. Identity. Oh, whoops. Revolves around haughtiness, dignity, and pride. Peculiarity, idiosyncrasy. And unorthodoxy. Kindness, warmth, summer. These are things I think when speaking of orange. That's fair. That's fair. OC lore? Yes, biometric data. Yeah, I think these are all just synonyms. I think I would add in unorthodoxy, warmth, and pumpkin. No, it's like a person. This would be like if a person was identified by this color, what would they be? Flamboyance. Actually, flamboyance could work. Can I remark on something? Absolutely. What's up, Yomu? Flamboyance actually might work. And flamboyance. Prideful? Purple. We put purple as prideful already by Mectra Data, unfortunately. I do get what you mean, though. But what's up, Yomu? I like that drool emote. It's very funny. Anxious? That might be blues. Flung over the crowd, so damn flamboyant. And we'll put purple. Oranges are generally extroverted. I'm just waiting on what Yomu's gonna say. It makes me nervous when somebody's like, I want to say something, and then there's like quiet. I feel like they're gonna yell at me. Please don't yell at me. Orange is paranoid. Ooh, paranoia is pretty good too. Paranoia is actually quite good. Let's replace unorthodoxy with paranoia. Paranoia. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Orange and purple are like the most flexible out of all of these. Let's move on to pink while Yomu is saying what they need to say. Pink will be associated typing a behavior to the color makes this all come off as something akin to the alignment system DD, which generally gets ignorant in most cases because it tries to force a mindset on what is otherwise an evolving character instead of tying personalities to each color. how it tying a culture to the color, which sets up a cultural code, but still flexible enough that the character is not forced to. Well, I'm going to say that's what's tied to the color, but then your character can be branched off in a different way. I would like, because I would like people to see these as a trend of what the color could mean, but when they make their character, they can choose their own version of that color's energy. Because essentially my assumption is that when people go into this, they won't have like an anchor of what a color, you know, would necessarily represent. So I kind of am just setting up a guideline of like, the colors could mean this, so they could mean this, but when you make it, you can try making it like this. So I still want to have there at least be personality types listed, I think. Hamburgers here? Have a good hamburger, Yomu. Okay, pink. Identity revolves around... I will rephrase these to say identity usually can revolve around. Around vigor, love, lust. Passion synonym. Vehemence, eagerness, zeal, feeling, emotion, fire, heat. Fervor? Maybe fervor. No, I actually like vigor. 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 Maybe desire instead of love. Desire. And maybe... instead of lust... It's like astrology. Oh, that is like so orange. God. I don't want to think about that. Orange can be flamboyant. Everyone look at me, I stand out. Oh no, everyone's looking at me, I stand out. Well, yeah, that we just wrote down flamboyance with orange. Yeah, we have it right here. Naivety is pink. Naivety, honestly, maybe. Also, I ogre will never yell at someone unless you've royally fucked up and wronged me in some manner. I am generally chill outside the bedroom. I am... Wait, what? But yeah, I wasn't... I was completely joking. I was completely joking, Yomu. I knew you weren't gonna yell at me or berate me or anything. Naivety? Maybe. We can keep this for now. And in this setting, I generally will put turquoise with studiousness and erudition. Erudition, logic, synonym. And understanding. Because, you know, pink and turquoise would be the opposites to one another, so turquoise is all about instinct. Turquoise would be about, like, complete logic. If we were to go, you know, in that direction. I think the color turquoise usually, you know, usually kind of gives off that energy. But yeah. Negative solipsism and getting lost in your head. Oh, solipsism? Okay. Yeah, okay, maybe. Around flipsism. Yeah, I do want a negative with each one. So for here, if we go by that same rule, desire should be first before vigor. Paranoia, haughtiness, envy, mania, sorrow, anger. Okay. Generally are guided by instinct. Generally are guided by logic. Cool. Okay. Well, we have a basic idea of how each of the colors, what each of them can represent. So when somebody makes their own, they can go like, okay, other versions of this color will be like this. So, you know, if I make mine like this, then this will go against that grain, or this will follow this grain, that type of thing. Envy is green. Okay, cool. Guidelines are set. This looks promising. Thank you very much. So, what I had for yellow was mania, joy, and whimsy. For some reason, during a munch, my brain went a disease called the coronavirus. Sounds neat. So there is a kind of virus in this setting, or rather, it's like a thought virus. So that actually feeds into the different races in the setting that I can tell you about. Turquoise simulates red with facts and logic. Kick your butt. That's really funny. But so there are different races in this, aside from just human. So there's just regular humans. There are animal hybrids. In universe, they're called Noahs, and it usually means that your DNA has been changed so that you develop animal parts. And most of these have animal traits along with those parts, like they have better hearing or better sense of smell, that type of thing. Androids in this universe, which in the universe are called sentiment machines, and it's like your nervous system has essentially been transplanted and converted almost directly into like wires and machine parts, like one-to-one. So you have been implanted almost entirely into a metal body, nervous system and all. And then colors is when any of these, like humans, animal hybrids, or androids, that's when you remove restrictions from yourself. And then neutrals are like the really big, powerful like leaders. And then so the last one is, I'm still coming up with a name. So far, I have pures, but different names can be thrown around. I have considered purges as well, but it is essentially, so out of all of these, it is if a person traverses life and comes to the realization that they have no color. And so essentially, I think the best way to describe it is a pure in color code functions a lot like how a what is it? Not a mute, but a here, hold on. Blanks. It's how a blank in Warhammer would work. So it's like, if you are a pure, or whichever name whichever name sticks, you essentially, your identity is like a void, essentially. So colors become like stricken when they're around you. It goes from like discomfort to like absolute fear, and it's like a draining aura. Like you mute other colors, and you generally lose your humanity over time if you're pure. and you're essentially like the enemy of colors, like an enemy of humanity. You have given up your identity. You are nothing. You know, that type of thing. That is sort of that is how I see that, kind of, or that's how I'm handling the idea of somebody without color. Because how essentially how I'm handling this is colors are the human spirit. Like, they are your passions and your drives and your interests and your hobbies turned into, you know, your almost like a power. And so when you forsake that, if you give up that love of your spirit, you give up being a color, you become a pure. You're nothing. You're a void, essentially. Tones, a slate. Interesting. I feel like tones still fits in with colors. Tone would mean like you're a certain type of color. So it's still monochromes. Monochromes would still involve like white and black and gray. So that's still linked up with colors. Like pure would literally mean like no color. Like it has to be blank. Like a blank would be Vanta Black. We already talked about Vanta Black. No, can I be Black Newt? But real talk, this is super interesting. I'm happy that you think so, Saul. I'm super happy you think so. Let's see. Oh, but let's see. Spectrumless? Maybe. It's a little long though. Yeah, transparent. Transparent can still have a color link to it. But maybe. White is the absence of color, a white void, if you will, but white itself is still it still is technically a color. So I couldn't do that. Blank, pure, purge, those are like the best three that I have. Eigengrau. That's what is Eigengrau? I mean, Eigengrau is a color, but brain gray. That's still gray. That's still gray. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep that in mind for my own purposes. Purples are maids? Yeah, they are. How did you know that? Wait, did you? Oh wait, did you see? Did I scroll past that? Cause yeah, actually, yeah, that's how they are in this. Scroll up. Yeah. Okay. You saw that then. It's the color you see when you close your eyes. Oh. Oh wait, really? Is that what it's called? Ooh, that's kind of cool actually. Color you see when your eyes are closed. Oh, it is called Eigengrau. Ooh. Okay. Keeping that in mind. Keeping that in mind. That's really cool. That is really cool. That is super interesting. That is sick. The bear? Maybe. Bear isn't bad. But then people could maybe construe that as like being naked. Which, I mean, works, but... transparent, Eigengrau. Scroll up. Okay, so another thing is, so in universe, I want it to be that there would be clans for each of the colors. So a collection of the same color for each one. So, like, it'll essentially be more of like an in-universe, like you can meet, like if you're traveling around, you can meet the clan that your color, like that represents your color, you know. I've got names for these. Let me know what you think. I have names and basic concepts for all of them. So here, so the red clan I have written down would be called Confusion and Fear, and they would be essentially like a type of Yakuza group, where the leader is just whoever killed the last leader, that type of thing. Their whole thing would be guys in like striped suits, like very highly decorated suit jackets, and kabuki like animal masks, like fox masks, red and white, you know, that type of thing. That red and white type of Japanese fox mask. The Blue Clan I have written down as roundtable casting. They're a much more peaceful group that they are usually in charge of. They're in charge of like the city's how to put it, like television broadcasting. So that would be that. So they are like, you know, they're related to like TV shows, like open channel stuff, children's shows, that type of thing. They yeah. Can I be Ebony working for Azure or Crimson? Intriguing. Wait a minute, I just realized that you're making a joke. For Yellow Clan, I have it written down as the Little Miss Sunshine Militia. It's generally just a group community militia that arms themselves to protect those in need. That's what I have written down here. Purple Clan, I have listed down as Made to Last. It is a group of servants and maids, essentially for hire. They essentially, as a front, do, you know, maid and household work, but they can also do more shady and, I guess, violent things, like as a side. Essentially assassins, if they need to be. Blue certainly gives off daycare, but society caretakers, essentially. Underhanded? Not necessarily underhanded, but shadowy. A little bit shadowy. Like, they can take lives when they need to. I have also toyed with the idea of them being wrestlers instead of maids and servants, as sort of like a gap. For green, I have Takumi Everywhere. I've been wondering if I should just change that to Take Me Everywhere. I don't know if that's more or less clever. Would probably be more information gatherers. I think that would be a bit better. Like maids and servants, and then they could be information gatherers. Access due to being maids. I think that'd be a bit better. They don't have to be assassins. That was just sort of more of a suggestion. Yeah. Luchador, yeah. I like to imagine that Purple has two different like clans, where one of them is like, you know, shady maids and servants, and the other is like wrestlers. The comment in the sulk makes me kind of think of something. Are shades tints part of the colors outside of the neutrals? Yes, absolutely. You can definitely be like a maroon or like a magenta or something. You just fit into that basic category. If you're a maroon, then you're a red. If you're a cyan, then you're a blue. If you're a teal, you're a turquoise, that type of thing. You know, if you're gold, you're yellow. So they all fit into those basic 8 categories. Confusion Fear isn't a business name like all the rest. Yeah, because they're like a gang. By God, the people's elbow from the top rope. In Burgundy. Yeah, exactly. Confusion Fear. Shinobi. Oh yeah. So green would be Takumi Everywhere. I don't like Takumi Everywhere. I'm gonna change it to Take Me Anywhere. Take Me Everywhere. So Take Me Everywhere. It would essentially be. I'm wondering if it should either be a band or a music label. But essentially, it's like a group of musicians. They produce music essentially. Orange Clan would be the Thrift Palace, which is the street cleaners of the city. They dispose of waste and bring it to a large building that they call the Thrift Palace that essentially is a big soup kitchen. So their whole thing is like incinerating trash and disposing of it and then caring for the homeless. Pink would be Eminent Care Trauma Group. This is the actual group of assassins. It'll be essentially a group of like kunoichi that are themed like nurses. If that sounds familiar, then yes, it's pretty close to what Skullgirls did with Valentine. I just really like the idea of kunoichi nurses, so I'm gonna yoink. Yeah, kunoichi nurses. And then the Turquoise Clan would be Today Tomorrow Mechanics, and they would produce. They'd be more of a research group and R&D group, and they would produce like mechanical parts, mecha, like androids, stuff like that. Musical. I dig these. I have a work that has groups as well. I might tell you about it sometime with more fleshed out. Oh, I would love literally nothing more Dartuza. I would love that so much. I would love that so much. But what do you guys think? What do you guys generally like just the general ideas of these clans? Do some of these just not stick with you? Do just some of these sound lame or dumb? Today. No, I like today, tomorrow a little bit better. Oh, I get what you mean, tomorrow, today, as in they're bringing tomorrow, today. I did today, tomorrow as, it's a reference to the Armored Core track Day After Day. So, I changed that to today, tomorrow. Red group should be Fear and Loathing, what, in the West? Oh, man. But yeah. Is that a serious suggestion? Because honestly, that doesn't sound bad. Confusion and Fear is a reference to, this Armored Core song Takes Me Anywhere. But then again, so is Takes Me Everywhere. I have two references to the same song. Balance as the octagon should be? Okay, I'm glad you think so. Double nod? Okay. I was just joshing. Okay, got you. Okay. And as a general rule, not general rule, but, so the city is split into gray and brown territories since they're the two biggest factions. The red, yellow, orange, and pink clan are all within brown's territory. And then the blue, purple, green, and turquoise clan all dwell within gray's territory. To simplify it, all the warm colors dwell in brown, all the warm color clans dwell in gray. So yeah. I still don't like Confusion and Fear as a name. I'm trying to think of an alternative. Why didn't you like Confusion and Fear as a gang name? They're literally like gangs that dwell. There's a gang that dwells on like the leader having to kill like the previous leader. Confusion and Fear. Like imagine a bunch of like muscular dudes in suits and fox masks. Warm brown and cools equals gray, right? Yes, exactly, Dartuza. So creating color sets, character sheet. I guess, let's see, life, identity, combat, bonds, end condition, glossary, afterword, cool. So, I think, I still feel like gangs have one name. I like two-word names. I'm not a huge fan of single-word names. You know what I mean? I think the last thing to do is to maybe pen up a possible character sheet. I think we can try that. So I think what we should do now is just put on what should be on the character sheet. Character stats, character sheet. So let's zoom out a little bit. Technically the gang name has 3 words. Yeah, that is 3 words. That's true. I like long names. What can I say? Because I feel like when a group has a one-word name, it's almost trying too hard to have a presence. Like if a group is called like Unknown, or if a group's called Inevitability or something, it feels like it's trying too hard to be mysterious. I like these names to be like, they don't sound necessarily as cool. You know, it sounds like a poem or like a song lyric, I guess. It's hard to explain. I guess it's just kind of how I think of rule of cool. Single word names are very corporate. That too. By the way, how relevant or up to date is the color code stuff in the server? Let me check actually. I haven't updated it for a while, but let me check. Okay, looking at it, it's pretty up to date. Yeah, yeah. Actually, looking at this, yeah, looking at this, these are actually pretty up to date. Yeah, the information in my server is generally pretty reliable. It's pretty much how those characters will be. Weapons and or titles befit singular words. Yeah, essentially. Gangs are a business when you come down to it. I mean, yeah. But confusion and fear are generally going to be like strong arm men. Like, it's going to be like a group, the dude that you hire to like threaten somebody or to like to knock up a business or something. You know. Gangs usually have legitimately sounding stuff. Misspoke. Plus, gangs do have legitimate sounding fronts. I get it. I get it. I'm kind of stuck on confusion and fear. I feel for how I'm characterizing Red as a group, they're meant to be very intimidating. They're meant to be a very intimidating group. Mattress King. We're changing Red Clan to Mattress King. Their leader is going to be Mattress Mac himself. Did you know the other day? I don't know if you guys know who Mattress Mac is, but my mother recently met him, and I thought that was crazy. Actually, real quick, before I move on to anything else, I did want to share the characters of Color Code with you guys. So essentially, I would sort of handle this as like setting characters. Maybe even sample characters. I want to come up with a better term than sample characters. But these would be like... I'll put these as preset sheets in the rulebook, but they are existing characters in the world, you know? So I could say like origin characters or maybe like world characters. But either way, let me show these to you guys. I would like to share these with you all. Is this a Southwest icon? It's definitely probably like a southern thing, like a Texas thing specifically. I gotta hop in the Discord. I keep meaning to. Yeah, I just keep up communication with me so I can I can vet you. Pregens maybe, but that still makes them feel like a little like I don't know, like preset characters or pregen characters. It just still feels like a character that doesn't exist in the world. You know what I mean? I want it to be like this character exists. This is like a major character, you know? I like origin character, but that is like a Larian thing. I am in friend request pending limbo. Shoot, let me can you send me one can you send me one more and I'll accept it? You appeared for one stream, so whenever I got a friend request, I got a little bit nervous. So please send me another one and I'll accept it since you have been on 2 streams now. Major NPCs that I could maybe go with that, but that would imply that you can't play as them. I want it to be like these characters exist, but to welcome there, it's also welcome if you want to play as the character, you know. But here, let me show the characters to you. Boop, color. Clip Studio. Okay, so we'll start with the Bielyaza characters, the White faction. Shadowrun vibes. Oh, cool. So Miss White would be the neutral color in charge of this faction, and so all of her top dogs, all of the people who work directly under her, are people who don't have names. So they go by an anonymous title where they're just named after their color. So, like, Mr. Red is like a big hothead, but generally pretty kind-hearted. Miss Yellow is a gunner. She's very naive and very happy-go-lucky, but generally also very good at what she does, and also is a very proficient assassin. Mr. Orange is another strong armor, and also a hired killer if need be. He is a mute, but generally friendly if you're not a query. Miss Pink is the how do I put it? Is the local like scientist and surgeon and doctor that they have. She only has one arm, and she is generally of a flirtatious nature, but she's very smart. She's like the second or one of the most intelligent in the entire group. And then Miss Blue is a big strong arm. She is like a big bruiser, the physically strongest in the group. Maybe one of the physically strongest characters in the entire setting. And she is just a heavy hitter, big puncher. Not big puncher, but you know, she does a lot of heavy lifting, and she's quite sad all the time. Miss Purple is the oldest of the entire group, and she is just straight up. She is a maid and an assassin. She is like straight up. She does maid tasks around their base, and then when they need her, she is the deadliest assassin out of all of them. First time I've startled someone in such a way when I also threw a quest, so I did. I guess what I was expecting. Could you give me a friend request and also just message me as well? I guess I think that's what I'm wanting people to do. Like, send me a friend request and also send me a message. I'm weird. Okay, I'm sorry. Green is like a brawler. He's really good with his fists and like close combat, and he's the most like comedic of the group. Of course, he's the class clown kind of guy. And then Turquoise is like the computer R&D, like the hacker kind of, and he's the youngest member out of all of them, and yeah. So that's White's entire group. Just like essentially a bunch of wet workers and like mafia syndicate individuals. The nerd, yes, he is. So then Brown has their group. So essentially White is like they're all colleagues. I don't like scaring folks. You didn't actually scare me. I'm just like anxious. I'm just shy. I might not seem it, but I am shy and a bit anxious around new people. So yeah. But so Brown's whole group is more like a gang, like a loose gang essentially. They function more as a found family, whereas White is like a bunch of closely knit associates. So Brown has Martha, or Madi. You guys have seen her. She's like the OC I draw the most. she is a Noah, a hybrid, and she's a pink. So she's like a very nervous, albeit very like lustful, lonely individual, very introverted. Kari is her sister, and she's the yellow of the group. She's very outgoing, very eccentric, and generally very friendly and kind towards people. Like that's her. She's very empathetic towards people. You guys said no one can message you unless you share a server with them or friends. I finished. Oh, okay. I yeah, that was let's see. Got you. Okay, accepted. Yeah, I'm happy that you showed up twice. That definitely helped ease my anxiety. But yeah, so Kari is she's friendly. She's a friendly person. She cares about others. She's very empathetic. That, you know. And also keep in mind that colors of each group will be rivals with the color of, you know, the other group. So Pink and Madi are rivals. Kari and Miss Yellow are rivals. That type of thing. Madi and Kari are the main POVs. In Brown's, like, if we were to tell a story from Brown's perspective, Madi would be the main POV specifically. Yeah, it would be Madi. For White, I think I would tell every POV equally. I think in color code, if I were to tell the story, it would be from like everyone's point of view at least once. Like everyone would have their own version of the story. But if I were to like have to choose, then red and blue are the most important in White. Madi is the most important of Brown. Ash is the most important of Gray. And Black is the only member of Black. Sorry, yeah. Bob, or Mahogany, is the kind of found dad in the group. He's the oldest and the wisest. He's the gray for Brown's faction. Oh, sorry, he's the red for Brown's faction. And he's just a big, wise, like, dad, father figure teacher, kind of. And then Johnny is the orange, and he's sort of like the negotiator or talker of the group. He always can strike a deal. He's always getting like facial reconstruction, so he looks different every week or so. But generally he looks like this, and he always like he's the smooth talker generally. I will hydrate, thank you. Hello Tola Kig Dudora Da. Thanks for joining. What's up? How are you doing? That's better. Doing good, thanks for asking. Awesome. I'm talking about my OCs, and everyone's kind of helping me write the lore and everything for the book I'm working on. It's really exciting. I'm really happy to share this, and it's been so much fun. So Gray's faction, generally, will be the police, military, technologically advanced, that type of thing. They're the most organized. A lot of cybernetics, too. Like, a lot of animal hybrids are in Brown's territory. A lot of androids exist in Gray territory. Of course they can exist in either, but you know, that's just the trend. So Ashley is the purple of Gray's group. She is she's essentially Gyaru. She's extremely naively kind and outgoing and friendly to people, which makes her pretty close to a yellow. But how do I put it? She has, how do I put it? She would have problems easily, like, communicating with people, I guess. It's like, she's not really good at saying the right thing. She often says stuff that she doesn't mean to. I think that's a good way to put it. It does feel like Pink and Madi's rivalry won't involve workplace safety. And honestly, for me, they have generally the most, like, violent rivalry out of all of them. Because it's the most passionate. Pink and Madi are, like, two of the most passionate characters, and so their rivalry is, like, the most, like, passion-driven. Like, they are pretty at each other's neck. But yeah, so yeah. So Ashley is the purple, and she is generally friendly, but not really good at saying what people need to hear from her. Stella is the turquoise of the group. She is completely reclusive. She kind of hates people. But she is the group scientist and R&D worker. Does research on, like, mechanical stuff and, you know, new technology to be used. Gray is military. What's brown and white? White is a mafia syndicate. Gray is a gang. Gray is military, and black is a shadow group. Fisher is the green of the group. He is essentially your classic, like, hard-boiled detective. Kind of, how do I put it? He's kind of slick, as in he's very good with words, albeit not. He doesn't speak charismatically. He just kind of he throws jokes around a lot. He's how do I miss it? Brown is like a gang, biometric data. Stella, not a cat. Yeah. But I'm trying to come up with the right word. Trying to come up with the right adjective. He's like a wisecracker, you know? Like, he's witty. That's definitely, like, the word I was thinking of. He's witty. Yeah. He's a very witty person, and, like, the classic detective. He looks really plain, but he's quite a caring person. That type of thing. And then, Kay is the blue of the group. He is, well, these both are androids. There's two types of androids. He could be one that's more human, one that's more weaponized, and K is the latter. And he is he's like a really big dumb himbo. He's really big, really dumb. Doesn't really know left from right that well, and is very reliant on Fisher as like a big brother figure essentially. So yeah, these two are together at all times almost. And then Black is by himself in his own, he's his own faction. He's his own faction entirely. So he helps those who are forgotten, who are unknown. He wants to bring the factions together for his own purposes and has a very higher purpose that is hard to explain to the others. His biggest enemy is like those who are, we talked about before, like the people without colors, the pure people. That's like that's what he feels is like the biggest threat to humanity. Grimlock from Transformers, a lot like Grimlock, a little bit smarter than Grimlock, but definitely very similar to that, yeah. So yeah, that's all the major characters for each of the groups. And in case you guys haven't seen them before, I do have art of all of them hanging out in casual settings. So like here's White's group, in a casual dinner setting. Like Orange will generally like cook for them, that type of thing. Let's see. I have Brown here in a casual setting, going out to like a local restaurant. Gray in a casual setting. It would be like this. Here's all of them. Here's all of them hanging out. Holy shit, amazing! Thank you very much. Do I have time for a doodle? No, I do not, unfortunately, by extra data. And then Black in his casual setting is just this. And of course he's alone. But yeah. So yeah, that's all of my OC stuff. And that's essentially the general idea of everything. I think that's a good place to end it. I know we were gonna mock up a character sheet, but I'm a little bit tired. But can doodles have 2 characters for future reference? Again, the doodle is super simple. If it's 2 characters, it's going to be as minimal as possible. All those are on your True Blue Sky, right? Yes. Yes, they are, Dartuza. Ow, I hit my knee. But plenty of chances to do that later? Yes. So I think I would generally like to do a lot of these OC lore writing streams on Mondays. I think that's one of the really big projects I want to take up next. Yeah. I think that's what I want to keep on doing. I want to work towards my big goal. My big goal this year is to just really work to progress on this source book. Come up with the bare bones so I can publish like early edition and work from there. I just want to get it out there as soon as I can. You never know, and I wanna just do it fast before I make it good. I want to have it exist before I make it good. Love this. Certainly a very engaging stream. Is community interaction. I'm just gonna advocate for that. I'm gonna be an advocate for that. Absolutely. I'm really happy that you guys were so engaged. I was really worried that this would just be me ranting and nobody being that interested. And you guys have no obligation to be interested. Like, don't feel like you do. But I'm very happy that I was able to engage you guys with this. So we'll be doing this probably every Monday. Not this Monday. This Monday will be Dark Souls because Sunday is D&D. But yeah, would you mind if I write something in this setting? I would love nothing more. By Master Data, I would love that. Don't undermine, sell yourself. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so everyone, thank you so much. That will be the end of our first writing stream. I think we made some pretty good progress on establishing some ideas in the rulebook. I'm gonna flesh it out in my own time, but this week I gotta work on D&D stuff. But yeah, I sincerely couldn't wish for a more engaging and fun to talk to group of people. Like, thank you guys so much. Thank you. I always dreamed, like, I've worked on this since I was like 14. And 10 years later, like, I always dreamed as a kid that I could talk to people who would actually, genuinely be interested in this. I had no friends to really talk to this to. Most people would just kind of listen out of obligation. But I being able to tell it to you guys, it really means the world to me, and it makes me feel like I'm a step closer to my dream. So thank you. Yeah, but that's my sappiness for tonight. Thank you guys. Let's find somebody to raid, shall we? Oh, but first off, before that, that is the last of this weekend's streams. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm MrNeutral. I love big robots. I love writing and drawing my OCs. And I also love drawing things that are not conducive to workplace safety. I will release another schedule tomorrow or Wednesday. And please look forward to this weekend. It'll be a decent amount of streams and D&D on Sunday. So look forward to that. Alright, let's get out of here. I need to work on D&D. I'm a little bit behind. Okay. So, let's see. Who is streaming? Okay, no one in the art category. That yeah, okay. Let's find somebody that we are friends with already. Okay. Let us go raid. Let's go raid the channel Rumby. They are currently working on some bunny suit art. Let's go say hi to them, shall we? Alright. Have a good one, you guys. Please take it easy. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful week ahead. Keep on doing your best. Don't give up, even if it feels very rough. Things will work out. Somehow. See you guys. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for the raid. Hello. Hi, Tuesday. Thank you for the follow, Taku. Hello. Hey, Super. I hope art is going good. It's going as good as it gets. How was your stream? Were you doing art?